First, let me thank the organizers for bringing all of us here together. I didn't know about this program until this earlier today when the Senate President invited me to be here, or rather when he ordered me to be here, and I'm here. Two, I'm excited that we've seen our young men and women, especially the not too young to run organizers. And I feel very satisfied, and indeed you've made my day, that for the first time I have an opportunity of listening to people acknowledging the contribution of others in any particular success in Nigeria. So I want to thank you for appreciating the role some of us played in actualizing the not too young to run amendment to the Constitution. When that bill was signed, nobody acknowledged the contribution or even the Senate President or indeed any of the parliamentarians. But today, I can see that you've also made our day by acknowledging our contributions. A lot of people, even those of you who also fought for the actualization of that particular piece of legislation, when the amendment was signed, I couldn't even see some of you in the picture. Some other people just came and hijacked it and took a photo opportunity for what they didn't know about. So I want to also appeal to you that you need to also appreciate those their colleagues who fought for the actualization of that piece of legislation. Having said this, I'm going to make 2 quick points and I'm done. One, just as the chairman has said, the PDP is not home for urban politicians. So for young people, if you want to participate in politics, you have to pay your dues. And the best place to pay your dues is your local community. That is where we all started from. Don't think you go to the House of Reps or to the House of Assembly by running around Wadata Plaza. It's not going to work. Because there are some people I see only when we have conventions. They remind you they have been participating. They never go home. Even as at today, those who know me knows that every weekend I'm in Enugu, unless I'm out of this country. I'm in total touch with my people. And that is why, if I want to remain in Senate forever, I will. So that's one thing you have to learn. You have to be in touch, total touch with our people. They are your employers, no other person. They decide your fate. So any person who thinks that you've imposed on your people, the person is deceiving you. You have to go back to where you're coming from. That is the only way you can make any progress as a young man. There's no shortcut. The only thing you can get, as chairman said, is maybe appointments. And I believe in capacity. A young man who has capacity, I'll be prepared to work with the person, give him employment. But when it comes to election, I'll look for the man who is in touch with his people. I hope I'm making a point. Now, the second point and final point, now I'm addressing the party leadership on behalf of the young people of Nigeria and also the women of Nigeria. The issue of the not too young to run is, for me, a first step and probably a token in empowering our young people and also our women. We can do much more than that. If you go to South Africa, East Africa, the percentage of women in their parliament is much more than what we have in West Africa, especially Nigeria. And even if you come to West Africa, if you go to the French-speaking part, you have more young people and more women in their parliament. If you go to Europe, from Finland, Sweden, up to UK, you can see more younger people and more women in their parliament. So what is the difference? Is it not too young legislation? The answer is simply no. There are 2 things they are doing what we are not doing. And I would like to appeal to our party leadership to commit themselves to doing that if we win an election in 2019. Today, it will be a covenant between PDP and the young people of Nigeria. The first, we have to abolish age limit in political participation. Completely. The idea is that if you can vote, you should also be able to be voted for. If you can vote, if the age limit for voting is 18 years, once you are 18, you're also capable of being voted for. It is the people who will decide whether you have capacity to rule them or to represent them or not. Not any legislation. So we abolish age limit. So I would like PDP to commit to this, themselves to this, and if you want that, if you want that it works for you, then go out there and convince the young people of Nigeria to vote for PDP so that you be a covenant between Nigerian youths and the PDP. The second thing and the final thing is that you've complained bitterly about the issue of money politics. The power of money in politics is not going to change any day anyway. So just forget about it, it's not going to change. But we'll have a solution to it. That's what I want you to listen to. Over the years, in constitutional amendment, we've been laboring with the civil society on how to change the conversation about representation. How do we get more women into politics? How do we get more young people into politics? How do we get more people with disabilities into leadership positions? We have not been able to address it. There's only one sure way to address it, and that is if we're going to change the issue of our electoral process from first past the poll to proportional representation. The idea of proportional representation, which is what happened in the rest of West Africa, in East Africa, South Africa, and most other countries in Europe, is that it is the party that runs the election. Even in South Africa, it's the same position. Here, the Supreme Court has said that it's the party that's running the election. But the truth is that it is not the party, it is individuals. So for the party to actually be the body running the election, we must introduce proportional representation. That is to say that if PDP is running now, PDP will be run as a party, and then they are going to file in the INEC a list of those who occupy the seats in National Assembly or state assemblies if they win. So if PDP wins 50% of the election, from that list, they are going to take 50% of those people and send them to the legislative houses. And that 50%, you are going to apportion it to young people, to women, to people with disabilities. In that way, every segment is taken care of. Unless we do that, we are going to continue to have a problem of money politics. Are you in support of that? So that is the only way we can empower you forever. So let the young people go back and think about it. If it makes sense to you, we can enter a covenant with PDP, and then as soon as we come back, we amend our constitution to reflect that change so that all of you will have equal stake. Finally, the issue of the young, too young to run legislation. We are going to test run it for the first time during this election. So don't expect 100% success. Don't expect 100% success because that is how life works. When we amended the Constitution to reduce the time frame for concluding election petitions, it took 2 electoral cycles for the judiciary to get used to it. But now they perfected it, and it's working seamlessly. So this, I'm sure, we may have problems this first election, but don't lose faith. If you work with the PDP, by next election, we would have perfected it. And probably, if you come back to us on some of the proposals I have made, we can articulate all of them and make you part and parcel of the leadership of this country. This is their age. This is their time. This is the age of ICT. This is the age of social media. There's no way Nigeria can be competitive enough if we don't send those who are conversant with this to be our leaders so that they can compete with the rest of the world. So I want to thank the organizers, and I believe that this will be a continuous dialogue.